Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay. Today, I want to talk about American politics. Specifically, I want to talk about how American King Donald Trump uses speech, how he talks, how he verbally communicates, and how it's fundamentally different than most humans use speech. We're going to talk about Donald Trump's speech, the American King Donald Trump. Now, first of all, why do I call him an American King? Well, I said this like week one. I was like, he's functioning like an American king, and now New York Times is talking about him as an American king every day, right? And he just signed. He sent some official document. It was like it referred to himself and said, "Long live the king." Like it's like we have an American king now. Like it's and I'm not saying that's good or right. I'm saying that's what is, right? And we need to start acknowledging this stuff because not acknowledging it, I think, is dangerous. Like we need to understand what's happening. That's important. Okay. All right. So let's dig into this. All right. So let's so people. I don't think anybody. I think we're all figuring out exactly what Donald Trump is because it's not a simple thing, right? I highly disrespect him as a human being. I voted for him, right? Not in 2016, but I voted for him in 2024 because I was like, planned evil is better than incompetent good, right? And I think it's just like, I just could not endure another 4 years of rising crime, rising inflation, and rising war, right? And like, I do think we're headed toward all of those lowering, right? Like already, like in 3 years, Biden didn't speak one word to Vladimir Putin about ending the Ukraine war. Peace talks have already started within 3 months of president. Peace talks between to end the Russian-Ukraine war have already started within 3 months of Donald Trump being in office, and it hasn't ended yet, but at least he's trying. Biden even tried. Like it's incredible, right? And crime, I suffered horrible crime under Biden, and I have not suffered crime under Donald Trump. That's great. Like, so 2 out of 3, we're working on the third. Okay, but Donald Trump I've already benefited from Trump's being in office and Biden being out. Right, like that's good, right? But it is shocking to deal with Trump. Like, so one of the things is I support Ukraine. I think that Vladimir Putin is a horrible villain and that he's murdered without justification hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians, right? I agree with actually Mississippi Senator Roger Wicker has already discussed the execution of Vladimir Putin. That's a great conversation to have, I think. That's worthy of talking about, right? If you kill a few 100,000 people, maybe people should start discussing your execution, right? I think that's a good thing to start. That's a good conversation to have, right? Well, all right. So, President Donald Trump this week, American King Donald Trump this week, said that Ukraine started the Russian-Ukraine war, right? That's a flat out unmitigated lie. It's just a complete lie, right? Like, so why did Donald Trump say this? Now, one of my sources of truth today is Ryan Macbeth. If you don't know who Ryan Macbeth is, he's right here on YouTube. He started out as a tank expert, and now he discusses all kinds of things, international politics and American politics, right? Brilliant guy. He's absolutely a source of truth in my humble opinion. So we're moving along, right? And he discussed why President Trump lied like this, right? And he brought some good ideas out, but I'm going to tell you the real reason, in my humble opinion. All right, here we go. So why, right? Well, this is what I figured out. Donald Trump does not use speech the way a normal human being uses speech. So and I have to say, I don't consider myself a normal human being, but you know what I mean. The muggles, the 51%, most people, right? They use speech. So we're going to talk about how Donald Trump uses speech, But first, we have to establish how muggles use speech, how normal people use speech, right? So, normal people use speech for three things, all right? Let's get into it: information, response, and emotion, okay? Information, response, and emotion, okay? So, first, they use it to provide information, right? They'll say, they'll be in their house, right? And they might see their wife going, let's say a wife is in her house and she sees her husband about to go outside, and she says, oh, it's supposed to rain an hour from now. Take the umbrella, right? Information. The husband didn't ask for information. He didn't ask, for anything, right? But she's giving information, right? Next is response. So the husband comes home. It says, hey, I know you like silver. Well, the jewelry store at the mall has a half off sale. Would you like me to buy you a silver necklace? Now would be the time, right? And then the wife would say, yes, that'd be wonderful. How thoughtful, right? A response. She's responding to a question. Okay? And then husband brings that wife to the mall, and he's like, do you like this one? And she's like, oh yeah, I like this one. It's got a nice silver heart on it, nice silver chain. He's like, I'm gonna buy it for you. He buys it, right? Well, it's supposed to be $400, but we got it for $200. Here you go, hon. He just gives it to her in the car outside the mall, right? And she's like, oh my gosh, this makes me so happy. Thank you. This makes me so happy. And she's expressing her emotion, right? Expressing emotion. This is how a normal muggle human uses speech, right? Trump doesn't do any of these, right? He doesn't do any of these, right? And by the way, when I say normal, I don't mean Donald Trump is not a normal human being, right? I think one term I would use is epic. He's just epic, right? And in epics, there's tragedy, right? Like, tragedy is attached to him as well as triumph, right? Tragedy and triumph is attached to him, right? He was right. We win so much, we're sick of winning, right? And at the same time, there's tragedy. There's just tragedy attached to him, right? It's really astounding. All right, so get this. So how does Donald Trump speak, right? How does he use speech? He uses speech for three things. He doesn't use speech for any of those other things. When he is talking, and we need to understand this, right? Because we're not going to understand him if we don't understand how he's using speech, right? And the rest of the world doesn't need to understand any of this, right? The muggles are never going to watch this video, right? Just you, right? But you, if you want to know the truth, if you don't want to know where he's heading, if you want to know what he means, what his purpose is, you need to pay attention now. Okay, so what does American King Donald Trump actually use speech for? Okay, let's get into it. He uses it for three things, okay? Entertainment. He entertains, get this. His primary entertainment is for the masses. He is entertaining the masses. This is brilliant. Now, I actually think he's changed American politics forever. No one who does not entertain will ever be able to govern America again. And the reason why is, his own people love him because he's entertaining them, but the people who hate him can't get enough of him because he's entertaining. This is just, and this because the news sources that absolutely despised him the most loved him because he gave him traffic, right? He's entertaining, right? So he uses speech to entertain, right? He uses speech to entertain, right? Next, possibility. This is incredible, and like no one who came before him. He's so powerful now, right? That when he says things, he doesn't speak truth. He's not able to speak truth. He's allergic to truth. He's not able to push true words out of his mouth. I don't think it's possible. I think they literally burned his tongue at this point, right? So he doesn't speak truth, but he does speak possibility, right? He's saying entertaining things, right? And so those could be funny. They could be horrifying. Horror is entertaining. I just went to a horror movie, right? They could be titillating. They could be suspenseful. They could make you feel empathy, whatever, right? Entertainment, a range of emotion Entertainment will produce a range of emotion, right? But what's wild is he realizes he's so powerful that, like a good comedian, he could do a callback, right? And anything he said when he was entertaining, he could make a reality. So that means that every word that comes out of his mouth, whether it's true or not, becomes a possibility, right? Greenland, right? He was just entertaining people, right? He was like, oh, hey, we should own Greenland, right? But now it's a very real possibility, and there's a distinct possibility will happen within his term, right? A lot of things that he said would happen are now happening, right? The whole, we're going to win so much you'll be sick of winning. That happened, right? A lot of what he says comes true, right? And he said that these tariffs would work. Man, did they work. Canada and Mexico bended the knee within the first weeks of his second presidency, and like gave up position and gave up their own volition for even 1 month of tariff of freedom from the tariffs. The tariffs were absolutely powerful, and it absolutely worked. Very, very powerful, right? So possibility, every word he speaks, right? There's a possibility he could just say it, not mean it, not care about it, but then come back later and say, I'm going to make this a reality, right? Every word he speaks is a possibility because of his power, right? So entertainment, possibility, okay? These are, very important pins within his communication, within his speech, right? So this is really fascinating, just how he has gone forward. So entertainment, entertainment, possibility, right? And what is the third one? Right? Yeah. I had it. All right, yeah. That's okay. All right. Part one. I'll give you the last one in one moment.